Hello. Sorry, I'm still getting adjusted here. I decided last minute I needed another pillow behind me. Oof. Okay. So for anybody that may have seen like the OG video, sorry, I'm still trying to get adjusted. I'm not in my chair. This is where we used to do the podcast. Crazy, I know. My co-host has decided that he needs to be a little bit closer to me, and I'm not gonna try and. So we have moved to the couch. Oh goodness, I have not switched over to stuff. Can you tell I'm super prepared? I'm also doing this a little bit later than I usually do, and that is because my son had like a walking trip, field trip thing today, and so I had volunteered for that. Sorry, I'm all sweaty still. We just got back, and so I want to make sure that I've got plenty of time to do everything I need to do for this, so I'm like getting this done like as quick as possible, and I'm like all red and sweaty, and yeah, it was fun. We just walked like real close to the school. It was just quite the trip because there were a lot of kids. It was like I think 3 classrooms all together. So yeah, I'm a little hot, a little sweaty, my hair's up, I don't have it down, and look, I don't look as normal as I usually do for these. So yeah, we're just gonna roll with it though, because I'm hot, I'm sweaty, I'm tired. He's definitely tired. I took him with me. We have a doggy stroller, and yeah, he didn't like it that much. So I wish I would have vlogged a little bit. That would have been so much fun, but I'm terrible at vlogging, I think. Probably. Not like I have tried. Like, heaven forbid I would try. Maybe I might try this weekend. We're going to the Renaissance Fair, so maybe I'll try a weekend vlog or something like that and upload it just to YouTube or whatever. We'll see. I doubt it. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. I don't have any promises. But I digress. We're just going to go ahead and roll right into it, and we're going to go ahead and get started with our intro. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Phoenix Reads. Today's episode is a series of Today I Fucked Up. That's right, y'all, it is Fucked Up Friday. As usual, I don't read any of the stories I'm about to read with you. I will leave any usernames in the description if you want to go leave your own opinion on their post, given it is still up. My username for Reddit is in the description. Feel free to tag me in stories you'd like to hear me read. Let's get started. I'm not even gonna redo that, because honestly, it's just kind of one of those days, and I don't have any promises that I will have the time to do this. Give me 1 second. You guys are going to have some snotty ASMR for a second. I was outside, and then I was inside, and so now, like, my sinuses are getting a little bit clogged up, and, you know, it's so much fun. Not tofu. I tell y'all, I don't know what I would do half the time. My little co-host is very, very tired. He is tuckered out. That, I think he's just hot, because all the kids were just like, oh my god, he's so cute, can we pet him, can we pet him? And it's like, yeah, of course they can pet him. At one point I had to like shoo him away, because that's the only thing they wanted to do. They didn't want to play with like, or go look around at any of the stuff that they were supposed to be looking at. Sky, leave it! I don't know why, but since I've closed the bathroom door, because I closed the bathroom door in the summer to let the air disperse through the apartment better. Especially because I'm like all crooked here, so I apologize. I'm like just chilling. But I have the bathroom door closed because, again, the AC is in our bedroom directly at the door, and I have a fan pointed at the door as well to help push the air out. And it points right at the bathroom. So instead of all the air going into the bathroom, I close the door, or at least like pull it like as close without it like latching, if that makes sense. Anyway, we're just going to move on instead of talking about everything else that I would like to talk about. Maybe one of these days, if anybody's interested, I'll do a vlog or something like that. I keep talking about vlogging like I'm actually some real life vlogging influencer or something like that, and I don't know the first fucking thing about vlogging. Let alone editing a video, hence why you get this raw and uncut. But we're just gonna go ahead and just roll right into it. Hey everybody! Happy Friday, happy whatever day you are listening to this. I'm probably a little scatterbrained for this episode. Like, I'm just now realizing I didn't even put my sign up to let people know to not knock on my door. I'm so smart. I'm just now realizing this as I started this. I just came back from a walk with my son and his class, along with the 3 other first grade classes. So I'm a little scatterbrained. So if I am just like, don't seem to be all there, I'm hot, I'm sweaty, it's been a thing. And I took the puppy with us. Again, if you have not seen Mr. Dusty, please feel free to go check out my Instagram, which the handle for that is in the description. Please feel free to go do that. He's all tuckered out with me on the couch. That's where we are hanging out today instead of my usual recording chair. Ugh, my ear is like almost fully back to normal. It's just a little bit of like, it just still feels a little weird, but it doesn't feel as bad as it has, and I feel a lot better. So we're just gonna go ahead and carry on instead of sitting here and complaining about how my 30s are just tearing me down. Today I fucked up by not writing a poem. I'm a student in my senior high school year, and I participated in some storytelling and writing contests at school, even getting to publish a short story in a fun initiative they proposed to some students last year. It doesn't really matter whether it's a script, a story, or an article. Teachers always ask me if I'm interested, and I always say yes, because yes, I would love to become a writer someday. Same, and yet I have not touched my book in like weeks. Writer's block is a bitch. I really don't put that much effort in other subjects at school, but when it comes to writing, I go all out, doing my best to impress the teachers and, of course, improve myself. But I have one real no-no: poetry. Let me tell you, last time I wrote a poem was over 4 years ago, and it was by far the edgiest and cringiest thing I have ever read. And although I did my best to not give up on poetry, it really just didn't work out. So I decided to not write poetry anymore. However, a few weeks ago, a new project started at school, a poetry recital. And as you may guess, the teachers asked me to participate and give it a try, which I politely declined. They were certainly disappointed and curious about why I didn't want to participate. I have to yawn, give me 1 second. We haven't had to deal with yawning since me doing these recordings like early mornings, so I apologize. I'm apparently more worn out than I thought. But I refused any further explanations. They asked 2 more times, and each time I said no. Until one day, the head teacher of Spanish class, yes, I don't live in America, stopped trying, which I thought was really nice. Now, on to the fuck up. You see, in Spanish class, one of the most important activities is reading a book, writing a short summary with our opinion, and doing some worksheet that the teacher hands out. This is usually an easy, quick, and fun way to check our reading progress. However, this worksheet was different. It asked us to write a poem. A fucking poem about the strange case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. How on earth are you supposed to write a poem about that book? No, I'm not complaining about the book. I read it and found it interesting and a good read overall. But I just think that writing a poem about that book feels very out of place. To be fair, I kind of feel like that's kind of a weird request too. Like, of all the books to want a poem about Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, I don't know, it doesn't seem like something you would write a poem about. So I did everything else and started working on my poem. It wouldn't be that bad, right? Right? So there I am, sitting at my desk, head between my arms, chewing on the tip of my pen. At this point, I had written at least 5 different poems, none of which I liked. I was desperate. I had to hand in a good poem so that I wouldn't let my teacher down again. I had tried everything I could, and nothing had worked out. Well, not quite everything. I still hadn't tried Chat GPT. I was sitting here thinking, like, if I had Chat GPT when I was in school, I probably would have used it for shit like this all the fucking time. Like, not even playing. So I swallowed my pride and opened it up and asked it to write me a short poem about the book. I mean, it's not like that poem would end up in some sort of contest anyway. ... I handed in my homework and got a decent grade, nothing out of the ordinary. Until one day, the teacher called for a friend of mine and asked them to show her their poem. Luckily, they had left the worksheet at home, so they couldn't. Then the teacher asked me to show it to her. Without thinking twice, I gave her my worksheet again. Oh, poor and naive me. But yesterday, I'd completely forgotten about that poem. By then, the librarian comes looking for me. Why is my leg muscle is twitching? So give me 1 second. Stop it. Alright, I think we're good. And says, hey, OP, I need you at my office later. We need to sign the paper so that way you can leave for the recital. My mind goes completely blank, and I stare at him like a complete idiot. He looks at me confused and says, yeah, the poetry recital you signed up for? And walked off the room. When? So I go looking for my teacher, trying to keep my cool, and when I finally find her, I confront her. The conversation goes something like this. Me. Hi, Miss Teacher, the librarian says I'm enrolled in the poetry recital? Teach. Oh, hi there, OP. Yeah, what's the matter? Me. But I specifically told you that I was not interested in participating. Teach. Yes, but I really liked your poem, and the other teachers liked it as well. Me. Yeah. So? Teach. They liked it so much they wanted you to participate in the recital. Congrats! Me. Well, they can want it as much as they want. I told you I don't want to participate. Teach. Well, this is a great opportunity. Many people will see how talented you are at poetry. You shouldn't complain. Me. That's exactly the problem. I don't want to read that. And then she shrugged and walked away. I tried talking to everyone about how I didn't want to take part in that recital and how I wasn't told anything about the recital, but everyone was like, oh, you wrote such a good poem, everyone loved it, and you get to be the face of our school in the contest. Sorry, I'm yawning again. Oh, so now I'm less than a week away from having to go to a poetry recital, which I did not want to partake in. Stand in front of about 800 students and about 40 teachers, which makes me incredibly uncomfortable. Be recorded, which makes me twice as uncomfortable, and read a great poem, which I did not even write. Yes, I guess it's my fault for copying my homework off ChatGPT, but come on, you can't tell me that I should have expected it to be sent to a fucking contest, and that it would somehow manage to be one of the 3 fucking finalists. I'm fucking terrified. TLDR. Got lazy for a school report and decided to ask ChatGPT for help. Now I'm enrolled in a poetry recital with no chance to back away. Okay, so does anybody else feel like that's, like, the plot for, like, some, like, teenaged aimed, like, TV show? Like, oh, like, I hate poetry, like, I'm really good at everything else, but I just don't do poetry. And it's like, oh, well, why don't you try, this ChatGPT thing? I'm pretty sure I keep saying B, and I mean P, because it's ChatGPT. So, if anybody else heard me say B, I apologize. But I feel like this is, like, literally the plot for an episode of some TV show. And it's just, like, it would get better and better and better. And then, somehow they would learn a lesson. Oh, God, why am I yawning so much? Because I'm tired. Somehow they would learn some lesson about how we shouldn't use artificial intelligence to do our homework for us. Please. What do you think that stuff was invented for? Homework. And probably some form of fan fiction porn. Yeah. Today I fucked up and accidentally gave my mother-in-law my crusty sock. Well, that's where we're going already. Okay. This happened a week ago, so my partner and I are currently renovating the utility room and primary bathroom. Before starting, we were too lazy to do laundry and haven't done so in weeks, so there was a lot. My in-laws have been helping with a bit. They are old, so can't do much heavy lifting, but they help whenever they can. So we asked if they wanted to do our laundry for us. I put all the laundry in blue IKEA bags, the big ones, and sorted it out for 60. Okay, I have no idea what this means. It says 60 and then an upper, or like an upper arrow and a small zero and 40 and then that same thing. I don't know what that means. I'm wondering if it means for pounds. I have no idea. I didn't think much of it until she returned the clothes and gave me this awkward smile. All my FAP socks are dedicated and have a certain kind of fabric so I can always recognize them. When she gave me that smile, that was the moment I thought, fuck. It just says blank, like it's just like a pound sign, exclamation point, question mark, and an ampersand, but I'm assuming that means fuck. After they left, I looked through the bags and saw the sock. Fortunately, only one, but I have reused this sock a lot because of laziness, so it must have been very crusty. There is, however, a chance that it's just me overthinking because who fills the washing machine one sock at a time? I hope she took handfills. TLDR, mother-in-law is doing my laundry and the bag I handed her included my FAP sock. I'm not gonna lie, I don't even have words. Once again, I'm yawning. Can I please stop? Oh, this is a sleepy episode. That's what I'm gonna call it. That's what I'm calling it. And today I fucked up episode 8, the sleepy episode. I mean, I don't know. I guess as a person who's never had a FAP sock, I can't fully comprehend the embarrassment, or I've never even dealt with one, so I hope I never have to deal with one. It's like I just realized I have a son and I was sitting here going, I hope I never have to deal with one, because that would be gross. Oh, I'm tired, baby. He's so tired. Okay. Moving on. Today I fucked up by celebrating the 4th of July. Are you not in America? Did something... I'm very interested to know how someone fucks up celebrating the 4th of July. This happened to me and my family last year, and I thought about it again yesterday when we were playing games together. Anyway, we went to the local fireworks store and bought a ton of fireworks. There was a sale on the year-old fireworks for buy two, get one free, so my dad grabbed a few of them, relevant later. We come home and realize we don't have anywhere to set them off safely. We drove around for a couple hours and never found anywhere, so we came home and my dad got the not-so-bright idea to light a large firework in the middle of the street. To be fair, I think a lot of people do that anyway, is just, they don't think about it. Like, I remember when we lived down in Florida, for like the year and a half we did, and my first 4th of July there was wild, because I was just like, because I'm from Iowa. I live in Iowa. I do not experience, like, people just setting off, like, large fireworks in the streets, like, legally. Usually they have to do it in, like, spurts, and so, to me, like, that was wild. Because the last time I saw anybody set off any type of fireworks was when I was, like, under the age of 10, and my parents would get fireworks and set them off. And, like, some of them were, like, super fucking cool. Like, there would be some that you would shoot off, and it would go up, and then a parachute would open, and a little person came down in it. Like, it was fucking wild. There was also one we had that I remember that was a tank, and you lit it, and then it would kind of start going, and then it would spin around, and, like, sparks would fly out, and then it would go a little bit further, and spin around, and sparks would fly out, and a little bit further, and then it would explode. And it was like some of the fireworks, I never realized how cool some fireworks are. I don't even know if they still make fireworks like that. I mean, I would assume so, but, again, I live in Iowa where we kind of have lame-ass firework rules, so. Anyway. Oh, okay. A car started coming, and it was one of the park manager's friends. So my dad takes off running. He quickly trips and hits his face into his truck, breaking his glasses and hurting himself. My mom and I help my dad up, and he says that this is our sign to quit while we're ahead. We head off into the house and sit down for a few minutes, and a few minutes later, he says he really wants to set off fireworks. I thought he just said that that was our sign to quit while we were ahead. Like, seriously? Like, come on. So we get back into our car and continue looking for somewhere to set more off. It hadn't rained it hadn't rained, so everywhere was dry. So we find a clearing with extremely dry grass. Look, I'm not saying Smokey the Bear was right, but Smokey the Bear was right. Like, only you can prevent forest fires and clearing fires. Just fires in general. Oh my god. I immediately bring up that this isn't a good place to do anything, and my dad says that it'll be fine and we won't start a fire so long as we aren't stupid. This is coming from a man that has already fell and cracked his face on a truck and broke his glasses. I just want to point that out. For every firework we set off, we had to put out multiple small fires. Then we get to the old ones. The first older one we set off didn't launch out of its tube and exploded the tube and set many places in the grass on fire. I got hit in the leg and my dad got hit in the face with the little fireballs. Now, when we set the fireworks off, we hide behind the door of our car. Anyway, we finished and came home around 11 o'clock or so. We were all tired, so we disposed of the garbage and got ready for bed. I brought the dogs out and smelt something burning. I realized a firework got put in the normal trash can and not the empty one and set the trash can on fire. I took care of it and let my parents know. We finished getting ready for bed and slept all day the next day too. TLDR, we bought fireworks. My dad hurts himself, me and my dad get hit with a firework, and we set the trash can on fire, leaving a permanent hole in the lid. So, before my parents went to prison, when I was younger, they used to help, I don't want to say volunteer because they got paid for it, but they used to help set fireworks off for a professional show. Yeah, just, if anything that I have said about my parents has stuck with you, just think about that for a hot moment. Meth heads and fireworks. Just putting that there. And so we, so I used to always be really close to fireworks. Like, growing up, we got to be, like, right up front, like, practically underneath them. We'd lay there, we'd watch them go off. Like, it was a fucking hoot. Well, when I got older, it was my godfather that, was in charge of doing stuff like that. And so when I got older, I would still go and I would hang out with him. And cause I'm like, I have an in to go see, like, fireworks up close. Like, why would I want to sit, like, super far back and, like, only see them when I can literally see them? For those people that like that kind of stuff, I think you understand what I'm talking about. Well, it was me and my ex-boyfriend, and he got to set up, while it was my godfather's wife's, so it was my godfather's stepson. It was his wife's, child from a previous marriage. He was setting off some of the cakes, which, if you don't know what that is, it's a really large firework that sends up multiple ones, at once. Well, in succession, and he walked in front of it wrong, and one of the fireworks went up and hit him right, like, here, like, barely, or, like, right in here, like, missed his eye, barely, didn't get him in the brain, but he was bleeding an awful lot and had to go to the hospital. So, while my ex-fiance was supposed to be the one to set off the finale, I was terrified, because this boy was fucking clumsy as all fucking get out. Like, clumsy as shit. I was so terrified. And so I'm screaming at as loud as I can to fucking run as soon as he sets it off. Because I was like, I don't want to have to send this boy I don't have to take this boy to the hospital. I really fucking don't. I don't want to sit in a hospital and him almost die because he fucking... Because we were just volunteer. We weren't getting paid for this. Like, I don't even know if we were supposed to be there. Because what we were doing is we were helping set them off by... Because what we did is that we had these trash cans that had the fireworks in it, so that way we would take it out, hand it to the person would go run it out, put it in the pipe, in the hole in the ground that it would go to, and then get set off and go. So, for me, I was nervous after that, because it was like, I'm like, alright, like, how many other bad fucking things are gonna happen? Nothing did, if anybody was curious. But, it definitely scared me a little bit more than I think I was scared before the fact. Today I fucked up by eating while walking. Bruh, me fucking too. Every fucking day I think to myself, I can walk and chew gum at the same time. You think I learned by now that I probably can't. Not for very long, anyway. If it's only like a couple steps, I'm fine. Not today, but back when I was in college. One night, I got hungry and decided to get myself a cheeseburger from a small restaurant in our dorm. I could have sat down at a table and ate it at the restaurant. I could have waited until I got back to my room to eat it. Instead, I decided to start chowing down on it while walking back to my room. Bruh, probably same, because I know that there are just sometimes a cheeseburger just hits just the right fucking way, and it's just like, oh my god, like, why would I want anything else in the world ever again? Except tacos. Tacos will always outrule cheeseburgers, and I don't care what you have to say, tacos are the GOAT of any food. Not too far down the hallway, I coughed in the middle of chewing. My problem is I don't usually cough while I'm chewing. I usually end up inhaling while I'm chewing, and and I think the food is all in a like place where I'm okay to do that, and then it just happens to not be, and it gets sucked in. I felt a sudden pressure in my nostril and realized that part of the burger was now in my nose. Oh! Oh! For people that call them boogers, like they call burgers boogers. Sorry. If anybody else can't make that make the connection, I'm sorry. But it might just be a certain thing. Because I know my dad called them boogers for the longest time. Or he says burgers in such like a weird way that it sounds like boogers. I went back to my room, finished the burger, then tried to blow as hard as I could. Nothing. So you finished the burger while there's still a burger piece in your fucking nose. I need my emotional support pillow. We haven't had the emotional support pillow in a hot minute. I need it for a second. We used to use this when I did horror stories. Sorry. Just hit my phone. Oh my god, that was... I don't know. If I ever had something like giant in my nose, I could never sit there and finish eating something knowing that that is there. Like, I just couldn't. I would probably just be paused in the hallway with my finger up my nose being like, get out of there. Because seriously, like, that would bother the absolute shit out of me. I could not finish eating until it was gone. I would eat after that, but I could not finish eating while that was in my nose. I could still breathe, so I figured it probably wasn't worth going to the ER over. Maybe urgent care. Called the doctor's office the next morning, but the earliest appointment they had was a week away. After about 3 days of pain, I finally blew it out. I can only imagine that it wasn't, like, in your nose, like it was in your sinuses. Because, oh my god. Because, again, this is, like, all connected in here. So, still wound up going to the doctor's appointment because in the interim, I also managed to cut my gums eating dry coconut eating dry Count Chocula, and this cut started to get infected. This literally sounds like me last week when I was sick. It was something different every motherfucking day. Like, nothing I did won. Like, every day I woke up with a different fucking problem. TLDR, got impatient and ate a burger while walking, coughed, and wound up with a ground beef stuck up my nose for a few days. You know, I can't even say that, like, the uncomfortableness would be the worst part. Honestly, I think that the worst part would be smelling it. Because you'd think, after a while, like, after, like, a day, you would get sick and tired of smelling burger or ground beef. And you'd think that after a while, like, it's room temperature, baby. It's in your nose. It's probably even above room temperature. It's probably body temperature at that point. You think that shit would have to start to reek. I don't want to ever get burger stuck up my nose and test that theory. So, because honestly, I would be, like, if it was, like, in here, like, in my actual nostrils, I would not leave it the fuck alone. I would have tweezers, like, I'd be up there, like, trying to pull it out, like, I'd be trying to snort it back up. Nothing. I would not leave it alone until it was out of my body. Fuck the doctors. Today I fucked up, M27, by breaking up with my girlfriend, 29, because I was unable to show other people I have emotions. This sounds, I might need this. We've got it. We haven't had to use a hardcore in a few episodes, so we're just gonna put this right here. Today I fucked up. Well, actually, some 3 months back. Before I get to the fuck up, I want to give some background on this. Also, this is a long story, so just everybody get comfortable. Get your popcorn. I wish I had some popcorn. I have popcorn, I just don't have any made. If that. Anyway. Basically, my inability to show emotion started way back, when I must have been 10 to 12. I was deeply in love with a girl at school and basically gave her roses, wrote poetry, all that cringy stuff you see completely backfiring in the movies. Okay. Hot take for a second. That stuff is not cringy, and it won't backfire for the right person. I feel like we get so attached to, like, one person, and when we try to show an emotional side of us like that, and it backfires, it's because the emotions weren't reciprocated. And so we feel like, oh, well, that just means I need to hold off myself for the rest of my life, and no matter what I do, I'm never going to show anybody that side of me ever again. So, anyway, put this back. Anyway, that clearly did not get me anywhere, and I was hurt because not only did she ignore everything, she showed it around people at school, and most started making fun of me. Side note, I'm a real sensitive motherfucker. I cry at movies, I cry too much for everything and anything, and I'm a huge empath. Bitch, same! Anyway, this started a bit of a trend. I got into high school in this is Europe, so age 12 to 18. I'm putting it right there in my hair. Same thing happened. Girl kept leading me on, false hope. This lasted for ages. Eventually, she ended up in my class for 2 years. Skipped me, and I had to live with seeing her on a daily basis. Add some other unlucky love stories, and that's me graduating. A small intermezzo. My parents had a very hostile divorce when I became 12 till I guess 20. There was violence between the families, drunk aggression, theft, sabotage, arguing, threats of stealing my pet, stealing our car's number plate, threats of suicide. I stopped a family member committing suicide. Basically, I needed to be the steady rock between my family. I could not show any emotion at that point. You know, I'm putting it down just because I cannot tell you all how emotional and sensitive I was as a child, and how much of a stone cold fucking bitch I am now. Given I am still sensitive to people that, like, deserve it, and I don't mean, like, when I say deserve it, I mean, like, my friends that have earned my trust, that have earned my sensitive side. I'm very sensitive with stuff like that. When it's people I don't know, I could give two less of a fuck. And it's because of shit like this. I've had to deal with so much crap in my life that it's just kind of one of those things where, honestly, the fact that I even still give anybody that I don't know the time of day is wild. After that, there's college. Same thing. And I was always so devastated after a girl kept me in for so long. So at one point, I said, enough is enough. I'm going to stop caring and stop showing emotion. In the meantime, add some casual friends with benefits relationships where I fuck up because I could not commit and could not properly show emotion enough. Things could have gotten serious, but in the end, I'm glad they didn't because I had not met the right girl yet. Now comes the real fuck up. Something more than a year back, I met this girl through Tinder. She's my type, great smile, incredibly positive, beautiful, great vibes, similar interests, so we start dating. Fast forward 6 months, and she's like, hey, this can't go on like this, or we start a relationship, or we quit. Long story short, we went for the relationship. I did everything a gentleman would do. I was courteous, kind, good, friendly, better than all her exes combined, according to her, but something was holding me back. I could not, for the life of me, say honey to her or say that I loved her, unless under the influence, or let other people show my affection for her. I wonder if it means let other people see his affection for her. I've not eaten yet, so if anybody can hear my stomach growling, I completely apologize, hence why I'm sucking down water. Also, I have OCD. Basically, while growing up, I was deadly afraid I might physically hurt people. Weird. Why? I'm just curious how the OCD falls into it. Like, what, like, is it like you think that if you don't do a certain thing a certain number of times, or if things aren't in a certain, like, way, like, somebody's gonna get hurt? Because I know that that's a thing. For real. I'm just curious, like, I have no context for it, basically. This subject changes now and then. So most part of my life, I've also hated myself. She was the very first one I told about it, apart from my therapist, and she was understanding and kind, anything a man could hope. Anyway, I remained sort of distant to her. I could not give her my full self. I'm a real romantic, but I didn't do all the things I wish all the things I would do because part of me was afraid to show emotion. I just didn't realize it was that. I was always looking for things that weren't 100% my thing. Nitpicking. In the end, we started arguing. She was at home for a burnout. I was having very grave symptoms of one, and I could not find the time for her, or anything really. So I broke up with her, and this is the big fuck up. She was my everything, but I was convinced it could not work. So we remained friends from a distance. We're both quite active in nightlife, so we've seen each other once or twice. But just last weekend, after all those useless conversations and dates through Tinder and other dating apps these last months, it hit me. She was the one. She was the one. The woman I could spend the rest of my life with. The woman I was desperately searching for my entire life was right in front of me. I just had a giant wall around me, and in my head, that I never let it work. I could show many emotions to her, I just couldn't show it to the outside world. Now, we got together this week, and I told her everything. She teared up. I cried, and, well, this story does not have a happy ending. She was done. She cares for me, but she buried everything when I broke up with her. Well, she told me if only I got back to her a bit sooner. Oh, he's dreaming. Puppy dreams. She chased me for 5 months before we started the relationship, and she could not anymore. Not even try or give a chance. And I let her. She only has 2 cats to worry about now. She has this rainbound guy that's moving abroad in a couple months, and it's easy for her. I probably missed a ton of information and will happily clarify in the comments. TLDR. After a traumatic youth because of a very hostile divorce, OCD at a very early age, not as obvious as you might expect, I'm a normal dude who just worries too much, and being taken advantage of by many women in my past, I was so incapable of letting other people know that I have emotions, I missed out on the best woman I've ever met, perhaps even the one I could have married. Let this be a lesson. If someone says you to man up, you get those emotions out there. This is not the 50s anymore. It's 2023. Go see a therapist and chase happiness in life. Don't lose it by being a daft cunt. Very, very true words. I can't remember what number I was at. 5. So we are now on to number 6. I mean, I don't really have any words for that one. If you're a guy, emotions are not your enemy, okay? I know sometimes it feels like it, especially when emotions are a lot, but they're not your enemy. And I know it's hard for a lot of different people. Everybody has, like, different reasons why emotions are hard for them. But I hope everybody finds the happiness that they deserve, if you deserve it. Some people don't, and we call them out. Today I fucked up by forgetting an important person's birthday. Was it your mom? I bet it was your mom's. Or a girlfriend. Today I fucked up obligatory. A girl who had gotten really close to me since a year and I had started dating. That seemed like a weird sentence. Somehow we ended up talking about birthdays, and like an asshole, I confused her birthday with my favorite cousin's sister's, and the birthdays are one after another. I don't know what I was thinking, but I felt that if she got my birthday wrong, it'd make me feel less guilty and it'd be even. But she answered in a second, and it was right. I feel so bad now. She's telling me it's okay, but I know it's not okay, and she was hurt. She's saying since it's my favorite cousin, she'll let it slide, but it really doesn't make me feel better because at the same time, I forgot my cousin's birthday as well. This will probably keep me up for days, but it's what I deserve, I guess. TLDR. I forgot an important person's birthday and they remembered mine. Now I'm mad on a guilt trip. That doesn't really seem like a fuck up, if I'm being honest. Oh, goodness. I'm not going to do this next one because it's, like, super long. But I'm going to do this one because this one has a great fucking title. Oh, he's nursing in his sleep. I keep forgetting numbers. Oh, everybody strap in. This is a not safe for work one. This is your one and only warning. So if you need to listen to this at a later date or not listen to it at all, this is your one warning. Today I fucked up by smearing redacted all over the sheets of my one night stand. I'm gonna assume it's shit. That's my assumption. Place your bets down in the comments below. This was 20 years ago to the day. I was visiting a buddy in Boston and joined his circle of friends in a massive pub crawl. 30 plus peeps, custom shirts, 20 stops. By bar number 2, I was getting chatty with one female who had an apple bottom and a gray streak in her hair, like my favorite X-Man. So let's call her Rogue. By bar 5, we were vibing. By bar 7, she informed me she had planted a flag in my ass, meaning that she informed her group of friends that she had dibs on me. By bar 9, we were dancing/grinding, and by bar 10, we were making out in the street. Bar 11 never happened. She took me back to her place. Despite being sloshed, I had noticed a musky scent in the air, but paid it no mind and let the adventure in bed begin. I wake up hours later, groggy, buzzed, and in need of H2O and a pee. I find the bathroom in the dark, do my biz, and crawl back into bed. Half asleep, my foot was itchy, and so I rub it on the edge of the bed to scratch the itch. It takes several tries before the itching goes away. The next morning, I get up while Rogue is in the bathroom, and to my horror, see that my foot is smeared with shit. Fucking called it. I pulled back the sheets and saw that I had spread poop all over the sheets in my attempt to itch my foot. A quick survey of the room explains it all. Ferret droppings next to the bed. I do what any cat would do. Put back the sheets like nothing happened, and wash my foot in the kitchen sink. Part of me wanted to run, but had no idea where I was, a time before smartphones. It offered to take her out for breakfast before she noticed what I did to her bed. TLDR, after hooking up, I unknowingly stepped in ferret poop and rubbed it off all over her bed sheets in an attempt to itch my foot. You know, I think we've all done something along those lines. Not necessarily with that type of situation. But, I mean, I'm just saying. Like, I'm definitely, like, although, to be fair, I can't say I've ever, like, stepped in something and did not notice. But I guess I've never been, like, so sloshed out drunk and then stepped in something, so I can't say that it wouldn't happen. That's all I'm gonna say. Today I fucked up by throwing Easter egg foil in the toilet. Is it like the foil to decorate the Easter eggs? He's sleeping and he's got his tongue out. It's so stinking cute. As I sat there munching on my Easter eggs, I noticed the pile of rubbish building up beside me. I had to put it in the bin, but at the same time, I also needed to go to the toilet. My brain was on autopilot as I got up to dispose of the rubbish, but before I could make it to the bin, I found myself in the bathroom. Without thinking, I tossed the rubbish into the toilet and flushed it away. As soon as I realized what I had done, panic set in. I quickly grabbed some toilet paper and started to fish out the soggy foil wrappers one by one. I really hope you hadn't already gone to the toilet before you stuck your hand in there. Because that's gross. It was messy and unpleasant. It was a messy and unpleasant job, but I was determined to fix my mistake. Once I had gathered all the rubbish, I rushed to the bin and dumped it in, making sure to wash my hands thoroughly afterwards. Good job. In the end, it was a silly mistake that could have been easily avoided if I had just paid a little more attention to what I was doing. TLDR. My brain was on autopilot and I threw Easter egg rubbish into the toilet. So it's like the wrappers of like Cadbury eggs. Oh my. Gosh dang it. Why can I not remember anything from like 5 seconds ago? Y'all, it's one of those days. This is also not safe for work. So again, your one and only warning. Today I fucked up by maybe ruining a 7-year relationship. This happened literally an hour ago, and it's probably a bit of a classic around here, but still don't feel great about it. My lady has been working on a huge presentation for work, and apparently her tablet doesn't support the presentation software she was trying to use, so she needed a computer. I was out at the grocery store, and she called and asked if she could borrow my laptop to make it happen. I said, sure, no problem. I came home and could see on her face something was wrong. She told me that apparently on startup, the computer got all wigged out, and the very first window that popped up for her to see was my spicy folder. I'm pretty good about keeping it locked up and buried away, so I have no idea how this ended up happening besides just awful luck. But the end result is the same. This has been an issue in the past. She hates porn and hates even more that I use it. It feels personal to her, like cheating. About 5 years ago, the last time was an issue. This was an issue. I told her I wouldn't use it anymore and was good about that for a long time. But over the past few months, I really haven't been. Our sex life has been practically non-existent for the last 2 years. She got an IUD that nuked her drive. I don't blame her at all, and I'm so grateful that she took that hit for our safety. And beyond that, I've got a couple weird kinks that I can't really be satisfied in real life. I worry about ones like that. Like, whenever they won't, like, go into it, especially, like, on Reddit, it makes me, like, is it weird or is it, like, Between those two things, porn has become a crutch for me. I've been selfish and time has numbed the pain from the last go around, and now I've hurt her again. I feel awful. She's been in bed crying for a while now. I apologized as best I could and left the house to give her some space. I don't even know how to talk to her about it. There's no excuse. I knew what I was doing, and now that I fucked up again, there's no accountability on my end. I can't even tell her that I'll stop again because how is she supposed to believe me? Fair. TLDR. My lady found some spicy content on my computer while I was at the grocery store, and now she's sobbing in bed, and I don't even know what to say. Honestly, I don't think at that point there is even anything to say. It's kind of one of those things where you can only apologize and try to do better, but if you don't do better, then it's just... It's the same rigmarole. Like, I've said this, I don't know how many times on this channel, and I say it in real life, I don't know how many times either. Being in a relationship with somebody, you have to figure out what it is, like, why were they single in the first place? And at the same time, they're also going to have, like, quirks and, like, just little quips that aren't for everybody. Hi, buddy. Like, for some people, porn is just a quirk that they can't deal with. It's just something that it's like, hey, no, that's not an okay thing with me. And it's something that either you have to live with, the fact that your partner will look at porn, or you can't live with it. And if you can't live with it, then it's kind of something that you are going to break up about it eventually, because all that's going to happen is you're just going to be back and forth the whole time. Because either you can change and, you know, be like, oh, okay, like, I understand you don't like it when I look at porn, so I'm going to not do it anymore. It's finally cooling down in here a little bit, so I'm putting my hair down. So I can either stop looking at porn, or it's something that I need in life. Just like with your partner. It's either something you can handle, the fact that they look at porn, or you can't. It's just kind of how life is. But at the same time, you can't sit there and keep apologizing to them and then keep doing it when you know how much it upsets them. Because that's kind of narcissistic. Apologies don't count if the behavior doesn't change. Today I fucked up by sleeping with my ex. TLDR. Usually this is at the end. I slept with my ex and helped him cheat on the girl he cheated on me with. A few months ago, my ex broke my heart by cheating on me and then leaving me for the woman he cheated on me with. It broke me. I was so in love with him, and I never expected him to do something like that. He was perfect to me. He recently got in contact with me saying how we were so good together, and he regretted what he did and how he hurt me, and that he'd like to be friends. Big red flag, I know, but I was still in love with him and had hoped he'd come back to me, so I said yes to being friends. He talked to me for hours about how he's changed and how he should have done more for me in our relationship, and I should have appreciated me better and everything. Then he started complimenting me a lot, telling me how beautiful I was and sweet things I hadn't heard him say for a long time. He was being so sweet and charming that I couldn't help myself but be happy with the way he was talking to me. Then he started flirting, and a piece of me thought I ought to shut it down, but I didn't want to. I wanted the man I loved to come back to me. So I flirted back and things got steamy. He invited me around today and I went. The moment I stepped through the door, he started kissing me, and one thing led to another, and we slept together. He held me after, which was something he hadn't done for a while, and I felt like he loved me again. But it didn't last, and he told me to get dressed and go. That it was great, but he had to go pick up the girl he left me for from work now. The audacity. Sorry, I just needed a moment to, like, wrap my head around that. Like, to have sex with somebody and, like, hold them and be intimate with them afterwards and then be like, all right, cool, I gotta bounce, you need to go. I asked him what all that had led up to today was for, and he said that he was still attracted to me, and we did used to have physical fun like this, and figured it would just be nice to do it again. He then said he still wants us to be friends, and we could see each other for fun again sometime, but the other woman is more important to him. I managed to keep a brave face until I got to my car and had driven around the corner before I broke down crying. He used me, and I don't understand why he even came to me after months just to cheat. I've blocked him now, and I won't go back again, but it hurts all over again. I know I was stupid from the start, but I wanted so bad for him to love me again. We were together for nearly 10 years. Holy shit. First off, it's my belief you should tell the girlfriend. I'm just saying. Because if he's not going to cheat with you on her, or if he's not going to cheat with you on her, yeah, I said that right. He's going to find somebody else to cheat with. Plain and simple. Like, he's not just going to be like, oh no, the person that I'm super attracted to blocked me and now I can't cheat on my girlfriend with her anymore. Oh well, I better stop. Baby girl, that's not how that works. He cheated with you. He cheated on you. He cheated with you. He's flat out fucking just gonna do it again and again because he can. He's getting away with it. Fucking tell her that he did it. I understand you probably blocked him, but I really hope you still have the text, because if you still have the text, you can screenshot them and show her, because honestly, I feel like she needs to know, for one. Because I think anybody that gets cheated on has a right to know, so that way they can make an informed decision on whether or not that's something they want to continue to put up with. Just plain and simple. Poor little guy is super tuckered out. Yes, sweet baby. So, my personal opinion, you should tell the girlfriend. I understand it might be a weird conversation to have, but I think it's one that needs to be had. So, do with that information as you will. But that is going to be it for me today. All my other ones that I have coming up are, like, kind of long, and I don't want to really surpass 10 stories. I feel like that makes it a little monotonous. I don't know. I'm monotonous anyway, so I don't know why some of you guys listened or watched this. But anyway, thanks to everyone for listening today. I hope you all enjoyed the podcast. If you know somebody who likes my content, feel free to send me their way in a share. If you would like to send me a message with your own story, rant, question, unpopular opinion, or if you want me to tell others how you fucked up today, or any day, send me a message via any of my social media found in the description below. Just look for my cute little avatar you see on whatever app you're listening on. Please, give a rating if you enjoyed what you heard today. I hear that they help out tremendously. And as always, I will catch y'all next time. Bye! Oh. Me and the little guy are going to have some lunch after this, once this is done doing this thing. But anyway, I hope you guys all enjoyed what you saw today and heard. Please feel free, if this is your first time, please feel free to hit the subscribe button down below. Leave a comment on what your favorite story was, or your opinion on any of the stories that we heard today. The like button, the bell icon, whichever is your fancy down there, please feel free to hit any of them, and also please feel free to check out any of my social media. They are in the description below on the YouTube channel as well. But I will see you guys next week. Bye!